Good morning, Judge.
Welcome to Probate Court 2. We are live streaming on YouTube, so if you're watching us, welcome. You're absolutely welcome to watch, but recording or reproduction is prohibited. You could be held in contempt of court. This is actually Associate Judge Kelly's Heirship docket. Unfortunately, she is under the weather, so we are fitting everybody in best we can. This is the Molina estate, and I will just remind y'all, while I need you to meet your burden under Texas law, please don't get into specifics such as addresses for the protection of your witnesses and Ms. Molina. There are a couple questions I have. I know we have two minors. What are the ages of the minors?
One, Your Honor, my name is actually Linda Castillo. I'm stepping in for Amy. She's stuck on 30. It was like shut down, so she's on her way here and had me step in like just a moment ago.
Thank you. I knew you weren't Miss Lorenz.
I know you've seen her before, obviously. Let me grab her file right here and let me look. Unless, yeah,
16.
Miss Dino, do you know?
I believe they're both 16. One may have just turned 17.
Okay.
Well, I believe the youngest are 17 and 18. I think the youngest is actually just turned 17.
Okay.
Giselle and Heather.
Right.
Okay. I saw that their parents waived service on their behalf. They're over 12, and this is an heirship.
Yes, you are correct. I do know that because I did get that in a different case. Let me check her file. I don't think that they were served, or at least I don't see it in her certificate. Let me check.
Right.
And Your Honor, I'm sure you've already looked and probably saw that they weren't served as well, or at least there's no notice that I can see here.
Right.
So would we need to just go ahead and reschedule?
I am going to ask you to reschedule Ms. Castillo. If you'll relay that to Ms. Lorenz, and that way they can be served, especially if one's turned 18, they're actually gonna, they could sign a waiver now if they're 18, but the 17-year-old will have to be served in an affidavit filed.
Okay, I will let her know that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank y'all very much.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, if you are joining us on YouTube, welcome to Probate Court 2. We are in the middle of an heirship docket, although service is definitely part of our due process under the Texas and U.S. Constitution. So we definitely have to have proper service under the estates code with an heirship. Someone who is 12 or older is entitled to service, and that can be different ways, but their parent cannot waive service if they are 12 or older according to the Texas estates code. So we have to have that, and they'll be able to reschedule once that is completed. Our next hearing is not until 10:30, so there is lots of work to be done. I'm going to go get some work done, and I will see you guys back in about 30 minutes. Good morning and welcome to Probate Court 2. I know a couple people are still connecting to audio. All right, one person, let's see, J-Dog in Northeast Tarrant, you are not connected to audio. Everyone else is. I will let you know this is the Hennigan estate. So I am trying to work through Judge Kelly's docket, and so we have another hearing actually starting at 10:45. So hopefully everybody is ready to go. We are live streaming on YouTube. So while I need you under Texas law, Mr. Francini, please don't get into such as addresses for the protection of your witnesses and the decedent Michael Ray Hennigan. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're absolutely free to watch, but recording and or reproduction is prohibited. You can be held in contempt of court, which can include fines and or jail. Mr. Francini, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay. You may call your first witness.
All right. We will first call Mr. Brian Hennigan.
Okay.
I believe that's J-Dog.
Okay. Mr. Hennigan, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Hi, Brian. Will you please state your full name for the court?
Yeah, Brian Keith Hennigan.
Okay. And how are you related to Michael Ray Hennigan?
He was my brother.
Okay. Is it true that your brother passed away on March 13th, 2020?
That's correct.
Okay. And did he die here in Tarrant County?
He did.
And at the time of his death, was he 63 years old?
Yes, he was.
And 4 years have not passed since the date of his death. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. At the time of his death, was he domiciled and did he have a fixed place of residence here in Tarrant County?
He did.
And to the best of your knowledge, did he leave any will?
No.
Okay. During his lifetime, how many times was he married?
Twice.
And was that first marriage to Susan L. Priest?
It was.
And that marriage occurred in October of 1982 in Kern County, California. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And did that marriage end in divorce in October of 1989, also in California?
It did.
Okay. And was his second marriage to Ann Hennigan?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you understand that they remained married until he passed away, correct?
That is true.
Okay. And how many children did he have in his lifetime?
5.
Okay. And did he ever adopt any children?
No.
Okay. And so his 5 children are Eric Michael Hennigan, Ryan Ross Hennigan, Kurt William Hennigan, Jane Ann Hennigan, and Mary Ray Hennigan. Is that correct?
That's true.
And all 5 of his children survived him. Is that right?
They did.
And you understand that at least one of his children are not also the children of Ann Hennigan, his surviving spouse. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Sorry,
Mr.
Judge.
Andrews, do you have any questions?
Nothing for me, Judge.
Mr. Andrews, you're on mute. Mr. Andrews, you're on mute.
Apologize for that. Good morning.
Morning.
No questions. I did speak with several of the witnesses. I'm actually out of town right now. I don't have the report in front of me. I believe I spoke with Ann and Brian. So yeah, and confirmed there are no unknown errors.
Okay, but you have no questions for this witness?
And no questions for Brian.
Okay. Sir, do you have a copy of the proposed order?
I did file it last night.
Mr. Andrews, I'm not speaking to you.
Oh, I apologize.
To the witness.
Okay.
Sir, do you have a copy of the proposed order?
I do.
Okay. I'd like you to look at page 2.
Okay.
And number 7, specifically 7.1 through 7.5, those are the children you named. Can you confirm that the birth dates listed are the correct birth dates without saying them, because we are live streaming?
Yes, they are.
All right. And if you'll look at page 3, please.
Okay.
Can you confirm the addresses listed there are the correct addresses?
To the best of my knowledge.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Francini, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll next call Kathy Ridquist.
Okay. Ms. Ridquist, if you will please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Kathy. Will you please state your full name for the court?
Kathleen L. Ridquist.
And how are you related to Michael Ray Hennigan?
I was his mother-in-law.
Okay. And is it true that your son-in-law passed away on March 13th, 2020?
Yes.
At the time of his death, was he a resident of Tarrant County?
Yes.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, did he leave any will?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And you've just heard all the questions I have asked Mr. Hennigan about his family history. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. If I were to ask you those same questions, would your answers be any different?
I don't have any, while I know who Michael's first 4 children are, I've never met them. I really don't know anything about them other than that they were his children.
Okay. So is it correct, or I guess, do you understand that Mr. Hennigan was survived by his surviving spouse, Ann Hennigan, and 5 children?
Yes.
Okay. And do you also have a copy of the order in front of you?
No.
Okay. Well, do you understand his 5 children to be Eric Michael Hennigan, Ryan Ross Hennigan, Kurt William Hennigan, Jane Ann Hennigan, and Mary Ray Hennigan?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Mary Ray is also the child of Ann Hennigan, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the other 4 are not Ann's children, is that correct?
Right. That's correct.
I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Andrews?
Good morning, ma'am. No questions from me.
Okay. Mr. Ash?
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Ma'am, if Michael had had more than the 5 children, is that something you think you would have known?
I have no way of knowing. As far as I know, he did not have more than the 5 children.
Okay, why do you believe that?
Occasionally, you know, he did speak of having other children. So I knew they were out there. But the only one that I ever was involved with was Mary Ray, who is my granddaughter. So.
Did you hear him speak of any children that are not listed or that you haven't heard of today?
No.
Okay. All right, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll next call Ann Hennigan.
All right, Ms. Hennigan, if you'll unmute yourself, please, and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Hi, Ann. Will you please state your full name for the court?
Anne Marie Hennigan.
And you are Michael Ray Hennigan's surviving spouse, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is it true that your husband passed away on March 13th, 2020?
Yes.
And did he die here in Tarrant County?
Yes.
And was he 63 years old at the time of his death?
Yes.
And 4 years have not passed since the date of his death, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. At the time of his death, was he domiciled and did he have a fixed place of residence here in Tarrant County?
Yes.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, he died without leaving any will. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you searched everywhere you can think of that he may have kept a will. Is that correct?
And more. Everywhere.
Okay. And you've been unable to find any.
There's
Correct.
nothing.
Okay. You've heard all the questions about his family history. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And if I were to ask you those same questions, would your answers be any different
They
regarding?
would not be.
Okay. So just to
Y'all are
confirm-
speaking over each other.
I'm sorry, Judge.
That's all right. So Mr. Francini asked you if your answers would be any different. Could you state your answer again?
They would not be any different.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Just
Go
to
ahead.
just to confirm, he was survived by you, his surviving spouse. You guys have been married for about almost 16 years at the time of his death. Is that correct?
Almost 15 years, yes.
Okay. And so he was survived by you, his spouse, and his 5 children, Eric Michael Hennigan, Ryan Ross Hennigan, Kurt William Hennigan, Jane Ann Hennigan, and Mary Ray Hennigan. Is that correct?
It is.
And Mary Ray Hennigan is also your child?
She is,
And then the other 4 were not your children. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
yes.
Is there a necessity for the administration of his estate?
Yeah, I guess we have to do something with it.
You've been told you need letters of administrations to collect his assets. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And you're asking to be appointed as the administrator. Is that right?
yes, it is.
Okay. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No,
Have you ever been adjudicated to be incapacitated?
no,
Are you a resident of Texas?
no.
Are you above the age of 8? Oh, are you?
Wait, what did you say?
Are you a resident of Texas?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay. And are you above the age of 18?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know of any other reason why you would be unsuitable or disqualified from serving as an administrator of this estate?
No.
Okay. I guess let's talk about the assets of the estate that we're aware of. I guess, can you give the judge an idea of what is there?
We had a couple of checking accounts that were joint accounts. He had a Honda Accord, and we had a shared stock account. He's had a couple of pensions that I really don't know anything about.
Okay. And in the application, we listed these assets, but we weren't really sure about the values of them, other than the Honda Accord. And we listed that or I guess you listed the Honda Accord at a value of $12,050 in the application. Does that sound like a fair value to you?
Yeah, I've since sold the car, and I'm not 100% sure what I sold it for.
Okay. Was it more or less than 12,000, or do you know?
I kind of feel like it was less.
Okay. Do you know how much less?
I think that I sold it, I traded it in for, I feel like it was between 10 and 11,000.
Okay. So would you say 11,000 is a fair number?
Sure.
Okay. The joint checking accounts, there's a Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri and a Community National Bank and Trust. Is that the 2 joint bank accounts that you're talking about?
Yes.
And do you have an idea of what the values of those are currently?
Currently, the Cassville account only has like maybe $50 in it. And the National Bank account, I didn't check balance today, probably maybe around $2,000.
Okay.
At the time of his death, it was like maybe 900 in the Freedom Bank account. And there, I think maybe like around 1,300, 1,600, something like that in the
Okay.
National Community Bank account.
And although you haven't been able to confirm whether these are estate assets or not, you've been able to access those accounts without issue. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned a joint stock account. Is that the Ameritrade account?
It is.
Okay. And how much do you think is in there currently?
Currently, maybe $400. It took a digger with the COVID, so
Okay.
it's weak.
All right. And then you mentioned 2 pensions. Are those the Tronics pension and the National Pension Fund?
Yes, the
Okay.
Tronics, I believe in the divorce decree of Michael's, that was supposed to go to his first wife, Susan. So I have no information on that,
Okay.
how much is in it or anything. And then the other one, I don't know what's in it either, because I didn't know if she was entitled to that as well.
Okay.
So
You
I
haven't
don't
been
know.
able to get any information
I
yet,
haven't
is
even
that-
tried.
Okay. Do you know of any other assets that would pass according to his will in Texas?
No, I don't.
Okay. And just so the court's aware, there is a 3-acre undeveloped plot in Missouri. But, you know, the Texas probate is not going to reach that. Okay. I will pass this witness.
Mr. Andrews?
Hi, good morning, Ann. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. Yeah, I believe we spoke several months ago, and you confirmed that there are no unknown witnesses that the court is unaware of.
That's correct.
Okay, so yeah, no further questions on from me.
Did you mean unknown heirs?
Unknown heirs.
All right, Mr. Ash, any questions?
I just have a couple, Judge. Ms. Hennigan, good afternoon. My name is Christopher Ash. I represent Eric Hennigan, and just wanted to ask you, are you aware of any outstanding child support obligations that your husband owed in connection with his first marriage in California?
Yes, I am. I've sent a letter to Kern County advising them of his death days afterwards. And then I also sent the Social Security office and the IRS information. And actually, I also sent word to his family, the one of his daughters in particular, to advise them of his death, and that Social Security wouldn't be sending money anymore for the back child support and all that kind of jazz. So yes, I'm very aware of the child support.
And if I was to ask for copies of any materials you received, not that you sent out, about that child support, would you have copies of those documents?
Anything that I personally haven't, nothing's ever come in my name because it's not my obligation. I do save whatever they send. They meaning Kern County. I save whatever they send to Michael. However, they haven't been sending anything lately. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Thank you. And my last question today is, are you aware of an amount at this time that was claimed to be owed in outstanding child support obligations?
Yeah, I believe the principal was somewhere around 50,000, and then there's interest and penalty accruals that are like out of this world crazy, like $275,000 or something, 275 to 300,000. I'm not 100% sure of the number. It's just disgustingly high.
No further questions.
Okay. Ms. Hennigan, have you seen the proposed order?
Yes,
Okay, and can you verify that the birth dates listed on page 2 are correct, and also the addresses listed on page 3 are correct?
I did review the documents, and yes, to the best of my knowledge, everything is correct.
Okay. And if Michael had had other children than those listed, do you believe he would have told you?
Oh yeah, he would have told me.
All right, thank you. All right, anything else, Mr. Francini?
Nothing further, Your Honor. We just asked, I guess we asked a minimum corporate surety bond based on the assets. I don't know how to bond for the child support obligation, but we'd ask for a minimum corporate surety bond on this at this time.
Mr. Andrews, do you agree with the heirs being the surviving spouse and the 5 children?
I do agree, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there anything else from anyone? Okay. I will find that Michael Ray Hennigan died without a will, but y'all have proved up his heirs to be his surviving spouse and 5 children as named in the proposed order. Ms. Hennigan, I will find you qualified to serve as a dependent administrator with a $20,000 corporate surety bond. Because there are some questions as to some of the assets, I'm going to shorten the time for an inventory and ask that be filed within 30 days. And I've written that into the order as well. And again, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you, Anne Marie Hennigan, solemnly swear that Michael Ray Hennigan died without a will and that you will faithfully execute the duties of dependent administrator of his estate?
I do.
Thank you. All right, I have signed that order, and Mr. Andrews, I have signed your order for payment and termination. Is there anything else for today?
Nothing further from us, Your Honor.
Nothing
right,
more, Your Honor.
Thank you all very much. I hope you have a good rest of your
Thank
Thank
you.
Your Honor.
Good morning. I have something that says Alan. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Sorry about that. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Let's see. I do not have anybody else in the waiting room. So I know we switched the times because otherwise we would have had to cancel since I'm working 2 dockets right now. Any idea where your calling might be?
No, I don't. I was wondering the same thing if they saw that email earlier, but I haven't heard from them or received any email.
Okay. Well, our intern is with us. We'll give them a few more minutes. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can't wait until I think y'all were originally scheduled at 11 or 11:30.
I believe it was 11, Judge.
Okay.
And they might have even moved that about a week ago. I think I got a notice that something was moved, so it's been a strange one.
All right. Well, I am going to put you in the waiting room and get some stuff done. We'll give them a few more minutes. Hopefully they appear soon, or else I'm going to have to get to my meeting and won't be able to hear the case. But like I said, we want to get y'all heard. And I know I'm hearing Judge Kelly's docket because we don't want to, it's hard to reschedule, especially since we're so backed up because of Zoom. So I'll put you in the waiting room. If you'll just kind of stick close to your computer, and hopefully I'll be bringing you back in soon.
All right, will do. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you. And if you're following us on YouTube, welcome to Probate Court 2. You're absolutely welcome to watch, but recording or reproduction is prohibited. You can be held in contempt of court. We're going to give the other attorney a call, see where they are, and hopefully be back soon.
Judge,
Good morning.
good morning. I'm sorry. We were on a previous link waiting to be let in, and I was emailing Amanda and Tina, so I do apologize for that. I got the updated version. I sent it to my client and the 2 witnesses, so they should be getting on shortly.
Okay, well, while I'm waiting for them, y'all are both here on the Escobar estate, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we are live streaming. So Mr. Barr, when you start asking questions, obviously I need you to meet your burden under Texas law, but please don't get into specifics. Please do not ask them their address. We don't need their address on social media. And then also I noticed your proposed order, number 1, it is full of half blank pages. So you need to fix that next time. But also you talk about, you wanted a finding that decedent's estates only consisted of community property. That's not a finding we make in an heirship determination. So please don't spend a lot of time asking that. I'm telling you this because I have a very limited amount of time to try and get through Judge Kelly's docket. So, and obviously we're already starting later than what we were supposed to per the change so that I could cover her docket. Yeah, and you want me to make a bunch of findings about separate property as well. That's not appropriate in a heirship. So please don't spend a lot of time with your witnesses as far as that goes. I think that was it. I've taken out the items about Mr. Blake because he has a separate order that's required by the Supreme Court. So once they get here, you will, I assume you have 3 witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. We have two witnesses, 2 disinterested witnesses, and the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, I did receive a text back that they did receive the link, so they should be logging on any second now.
Good morning and welcome to Probate Court 2. If you'll please take yourself off mute. And Mr. Navarre, are you waiting for, I guess, 2 other witnesses, or are they all there together?
No, Your Honor. Cesar is going to be 1 witness, and then we're just waiting on the applicant and the 2nd disinterested witness.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you call him first. So
Okay.
if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Can you please state the name for the court?
Cesar Guzman.
Okay. And you were a friend of the decedent, Hermano Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Hermano Escobar is a permanent resident of Texas and domiciled in Tarrant County, is that correct?
Correct.
Hermano Escobar died in Tarrant County, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the decedent died at the age of 35 on August 16, 2020, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You've spent enough time with Hermano Escobar during his lifetime to become familiar with his family history, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you are familiar with his marriage history and all of his children, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You are not an heir of the decedent, is that correct?
Correct.
You're not related to the applicant, Cindy Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Hermano Escobar was only married 1 time during his lifetime, is that correct?
Correct.
And that marriage was to Cindy Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
From his marriage to Cindy, there were 3 children born, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and to the best of your knowledge, did the decedent have any other children with someone other than Cindy Escobar?
No.
Okay, and did the decedent ever adopt another child?
No.
Okay, to the best of your ability, did Herman Escobar die with a will?
No.
Okay, no more further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen?
Mr. Guzman, we spoke on the phone recently, correct?
Yes.
And would any of your answers to my questions have changed since we spoke?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Sir, if your friend had another child, would you know about that?
Yes.
Okay, so if he had a child either before his marriage or outside the marriage, he would have told you?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can call your next witness.
Okay, Your Honor, Joseph is still not here, so I'm going to go forward and call Cindy Escobar, applicant, to the stand.
Okay. Ma'am, if you'll please raise your right hand. Okay. I think
Cindy.
and Cesar, I'm not sure, you're not allowed to record or reproduce any of these proceedings. So I'm not sure if you were just texting someone.
I was texting someone.
Okay, it is as if you are in a court of law. So if you'll please put your cell phone down and
Okay.
you can pick it back up when we're finished here. All right, Miss Escobar is frozen. So someone else has entered the waiting room. I'm going to let them in and you can take that witness.
Okay, Joseph, Your Honor, I now
Hold on,
call Joseph Ramirez to the stand.
Okay, he's connecting to audio. There, it's connected. All right. Sir, will you please raise your right hand and unmute yourself? Mr. Ramirez,
I'm unmuted.
will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. May you please state your name for the court?
Joseph Ramirez.
Okay. Mr. Ramirez, you were a friend of the decedent, Herman Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
The decedent died at the age of 35 years old on August 16, 2020, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. How long did you know the decedent?
5+ years, about 8-9 years.
Okay. Is it safe to say the decedent would discuss his marital history with you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel that you have enough knowledge from your previous conversations with the decedent to testify here today regarding his heirs and marital history?
Yes.
Okay. You're not related to the decedent, is that correct?
Correct.
You are not related to the applicant, Cindy Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
So you are not an heir of the decedent, is that correct?
That is correct. I am not.
Okay. At the time of the decedent's death, he was a resident of Texas and had a fixed place in Tarrant County, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Herman Escobar was only married one time during his lifetime, is that correct?
Correct.
And to that marriage, it was Cindy Escobar, is that correct?
That is correct.
And from this marriage with Cindy, how many children were born?
3 children.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, did Herman Escobar have any other children with another individual other than Cindy?
No, he did not.
Okay. To the best of your ability, do you know if Herman Escobar died with a will? Or let me rephrase that. Did Herman Escobar die with a will?
I do not know.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen?
Mr. Ramirez, we spoke on the phone recently, correct?
Correct.
And would any of your answers to my questions have changed since then?
No, sir.
No further questions, Judge.
Mr. Ramirez, who did he live with when he passed away?
He lived with his wife, Cindy, and his 3 children.
Okay. Are his children under the age of 12?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Anything else for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay,
There you go.
you can call your next witness.
And now call Cindy Escobar to the stand, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Escobar, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. May you please state your name for the court?
Cindy Escobar.
Okay, and you are the wife of Herman Escobar, is that correct?
Correct.
And the decedent died at the age of 35 years old on August 16, 2020, is that correct?
Yes.
4 years have not passed since his death. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
There's not been more than 4 years since the passing of his death. Is that correct?
Correct.
Therefore, at the time of his death, he was domiciled in Tarrant County, Texas. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
At the time of his death, he lived in a fixed place of Tarrant County, Texas. Is that correct?
Correct.
Therefore, venue is proper here in Tarrant County. Is that correct?
Correct.
To the best of your knowledge, Herman Escobar died intestate, meaning without a will. Is that correct?
Yes.
To the best of your ability, citation has been delivered, signed, and returned in the manner and for the length of time required by the Texas Estates Code. Is that correct?
Correct.
And administration exists specifically because there are bank accounts obtained by your husband prior to his marriage, real estate, not including homestead, and other accounts which require management by an administrator. Is that correct?
Correct.
Decedent was only married one time, and that only one time is to you, Cindy Escobar. Is that correct?
Yes.
You and decedent had how many children, Ms. Escobar?
3.
And they are all below the age of 12?
Yes.
Okay. And you should be the individual appointed as independent administrator of his estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, you're not disqualified by law to be appointed as independent administrator. Is that correct?
Correct.
Have you ever committed a felony in this state or in any other state for that matter?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been deemed by a court of being incompetent?
No.
Okay. Are you a resident of the state of Texas?
Yes.
And do you currently reside in Tarrant County, Texas?
No.
No? Okay.
We moved to Parker County.
Okay. No more further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen?
Nothing for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Escobar, we do typically bond for independent administrations when there are minors involved. Can you tell me a little bit about what your husband's estate consists of, an approximate value?
Like his bank account?
Right. Accounts, any stocks, if he has a vehicle, if y'all had a house together.
We have 2 vehicles, bank account. I believe it has about 50,000. 2 property, 2 lots that he owns. It was him and his brother.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Navarro, do you have anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Allen, do you concur that the heirs are his wife and surviving children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And do you think there's any reason for you to continue?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I will find that German Escobar was survived by his wife and his children as named in the application and proved today. And I will find you a proper person to serve as an independent administrator. So Ms. Escobar, if you'll please raise your right hand one more time. Do you, Cindy Escobar, solemnly swear that Jermaine Escobar, thank you, died without a will, and that you will faithfully execute the duties of independent administrator of his estate?
Yes.
All right, thank you all. Sorry about the time change today. Associate Judge Kelly is ill, and so we had to do this in order to get y'all in and not make you reschedule. So
No, we appreciate it, Your Honor.
all being here, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.